The polishing wheels are on the other side of the bench from the grinding wheels. The water over here has to be turned on at the knob up here. The new wheel turns on the same. On should give you water. Turn on here, here, and run. Turn the timer off, and the wheel should start going. The old wheel on, water on. Turn the volume up here. Run, RPM. I guess this wand is not functioning, so you just need to pour water on there to get this wheel wet. You actually don't need to, once your wheel is wet, you don't need to keep water on your sample. You just put polishing fluid on there and use that on a wet surface. Polishing cloths should be on the wheel. If not, they're kept in this drawer below, and I like these micro pads, which are what on the machine right now. Okay, once you have your polishing pad wet, move the water out of the way and find your polish. You'll find polish in the cabinet down below. They are marked with the size of the polishing alumina. This is 1 micrometer alumina, which I'm going to use, and I will also label the polishing pad back here so we know what's been on here. If you do need to clean the pad off, you can do that by bringing water, running the wheel, and using the squeegee to pull polish off. You move the water off so that you don't rinse away your polish, and you add a little polish onto the wheel. Now the way you polish your sample is to buff it in all directions, like waxing a car. So I'm going to put my sample down and just move along in all directions. The small particles of alumina will smooth away the grit lines left at 800 grit. As I polish more and more, my sample starts to look more and more like a mirror. So now I'm going to rinse my sample and look at it in the microscope. After rinsing with water, you want to put your sample down in this ultrasonic cleaning solution and sonicate your sample. Notice I put it in standing up vertically so that any particles will drop down and not onto the sample. And you put the beaker with the cleaning fluid in the sonicator, put your time on, 1 minute, and it'll sonicate 1 minute, and then an alarm will tell you when it's ready. Use the tongs then to get your sample out. Rinse with water, alcohol, and dry with air. Cotton balls are here for this too. If you still have trouble getting the polish off, you can swab it with some cotton. Now take it to the microscope and see what it looks like. A microscope for observing your polish samples is over by the polishing wheels. The power button is here. Your sample goes upside down on the opening. Looking into the eyepiece, you can then focus your sample with these large knobs and then move along the horizontal and vertical axes with these knobs in order to observe your entire sample. The image of the polished sample still shows rulings left from the 800 grit grind, and so we're going to go back to the polishing wheel and polish a little longer. Okay, well, our sample is not quite polished enough, so we repeat these procedures. Add a little more water to get it wet. More polish. And then polish your sample by buffing on the polishing pad. Alright, let's rinse again and see what it looks like. Now you can see a pretty white, smooth surface on our sample, and I can't really distinguish any lines from the 800 grit, and so we're going to call this polish complete and ready to move on to etching. Once you are finished with grinding and polishing, you want to put your sample in the desiccator to stay dry. The desiccators are located on the furnace side of the lab. These cabinets here have desiccator in the bottom.